what's up, guys? Eli FIshman here with Talking Ball Interviews, back with another interview, and today I'm with Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Adam Kloffenstien. Adam, thanks so much for coming on today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on today. Third-round pick, a couple years back to the Blue Jays. This is your second spring training with them. How's it going so far, and how thankful are you to the Blue Jays?
Oh, man, it's going good. It's obviously I come in this year with a little bit more experience, and I know what it's going to look like, and I know how things are going to go. And obviously, the Blue Jays are my favorite. They're the reason I get up every day to come play, so I appreciate them, and I'm ready to get after it this year.
What are your expectations coming into this year? Do you have any goals for maybe starting in Lansing or Dunedin?
I really, I've tried not to get caught up in stuff like that. I can't control any of that, so I know that if I go out and do the best I can and stay within myself and my routines and all that kind of stuff, I'll end up where I want to be, and I'll move along and I'll be successful. So that's the goals I try to keep, and try to keep that, control what I can control and just go and see what happens.
What's your scouting report? Give me some repertoire, velo, all that stuff.
I started throwing a sinker this past year, so four-seamer will be in the low to mid-90s, and sinker will be about the same. Change up, curveball, slider. Really like to, I like to mix it up. I want to be able to say that I can throw any pitch in any count, and I pretty much did that this last year. 12-6 curveball, two seams change up, short and quick slider. Try to have different pitches that go different ways and do different things, so that I can keep the hitters off balance.
You've been working on anything as of late this spring? Is there anything that maybe you or the staff or a coach has told you to work on, or that you've been working on?
I think just consistency with my mechanics, and with my with command and stuff like that. You can always get better at those things. So I'm working on the four-seamer and the sinker. Running the sinker in. Running the fastball up, stuff like that. But there's some different things that I'm working on for sure.
Are you the type of guy who is baseball 24/7? Do you watch games? Do you watch MLB Network? Do you read, Baseball America and all that? Or after you step off the field, is it everything but baseball?
Well, for starters, I don't read. I do watch baseball some. Like kind of right now, obviously, I'm watching more of it just because we haven't had it in a couple months. But I would probably say a little bit of both. When I'm at the field, it's definitely 100%. But when I'm not at the field, I don't. Like the Astros were in the World Series last year, so I was watching that, and because I'm from Houston. But I like to watch good baseball. But at the same time, if there's not like a big league all-star on the mound, I'm probably not going to watch it. It just kind of gets kind of boring. Obviously, if the Blue Jays are on, I like to watch them, because I get to be friends with some of those guys. But, I'm thinking about it 24/7, but as far as watching it and reading about it and Googling it and doing all that kind of stuff, not near as much.
Who's one pitcher, player, or specifically a pitcher, who you watch a lot of film on? Who is that MLB All-Star who you always tune in to watch?
Justin Verlander. Obviously, he was my guy before he came to Houston, and then once he got to Houston, I was fired up about that. I see a lot of myself in him. I aspire to be, in his category, and he's got multiple pitches, throws hard, throws deep into games, throws harder, deeper into games. Hard worker, all that kind of stuff. He's a guy that I watch a lot. As far as like watching their mechanics and stuff like that, I watch him more on TV, and I can see different things on TV. But yeah, he's my favorite guy right now to watch.
Now, since you're an Astros fan, I'm sorry, I got to ask you, what are your opinions on the whole scandal? What do you think of it? And as a pitcher, what do you think of that? Because obviously, it 100% advantages the hitters, not the pitchers. So.
Obviously, when all that came out, I was just as surprised as anybody else. I don't really know any of those guys personally enough to ask them or anything like that. But I think, obviously I guess there's proof that it happened in 17, and I think that it's a shame for baseball and for the city that I'm from, but at the same time, it's obviously you got to move on from it. It is what it is, and hopefully MLB doesn't let it happen again. And as a pitcher, obviously I would never want that. Never want someone to know what was coming, especially hitters as good as those guys. So, obviously I think it's just a shame all around for baseball in general. But we gotta move on from it and bounce back from it. And the quicker we stop talking about it, the quicker it'll move on, and we'll get some new things going.
There's so many proposed new rules, and in the MLB there's going to be Robo-Umps, and then there's the new proposed playoff format for the MLB, and then moving the mound back. What are your opinion on some of these changes, specifically for you, because you're going to be pitching with a robot umpire for the first time?
I think the robot umpire is about as dumb as it gets. I think hitters are going to be hitting like 120, and there's going to be 15 people in the stands, which is the absolute worst thing we can do for baseball. Do I want to throw a curveball in the dirt and have it be called a strike? Absolutely. But that's just not – I just don't think it's – I don't think it's going to – it's a nice idea, but I think it takes a human element out of the game. Believe it or not, managers and players enjoy moaning about the umpire, and they enjoy yelling at him, and fans love throwing popcorn at him, and I just think that's that takes the fun out of it. We'll see. Obviously, I'm sure I'll get to experience it some this year, so I'll get back to you. But I just don't think that's a smart move. I don't think it speeds up the game at all. I don't think umpires nowadays miss a ton of calls anyway, as it is, as far as balls and strikes. I mean, there's some here and there, but that's what makes the game fun. So, as far as them moving the mound back, I don't think that'll happen either. But there's obviously they're trying a bunch of different things, and they're trying to speed the game up, which I'm a fan of. I just don't think there's a lot of different things that they can do, and not because I wouldn't want to take away from the game, but I'm not like. The regular public doesn't appreciate all the intentional walks and the mound visits and stuff like that. They just want to see homers and strikeouts and guys throw 140 miles an hour, which I get. So I mean, it's going to be tough, and I'm glad I'm not in the chair that has to decide on some of those things. But obviously, if some different rules get thrown my way, we're going to have to figure it out and go on with it.
All right, man. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
Much appreciated, and best of luck to you this season.
I appreciate
all that.
Yep. Thanks for having me.